Another video over max and min. Example problem 2 off of the review sheet. We're given a function f of x is equal to x over x plus 2, and we want to find the max and min over the interval of from 0 to 4. So to start off with, we need to take the derivative of our f of x, and you can see that's going to be a quotient rule, which is kind of nasty, but it's just kind of more tedious than anything. But it's going to be low, so we have x plus 2 times the derivative of the top minus high d low, so I have minus our top times the derivative of the bottom, and all of that is going to be over the bottom squared, and that's just the quotient rule for finding the derivative. So when you actually go to compute that, you'll get f prime of x is equal to x plus 2 times the derivative of x, which is just 1, and that is going to be minus our x times the derivative of x plus 2, which is just 1, because the derivative of x is 1, and the derivative of any constant is 0, and that is going to be over the bottom squared so that's our function so far. Whenever we actually do everything to it, we'll have x plus 2 minus x over x plus 2 squared, and as you can see, we have a negative x and a positive x, so those are going to cancel, and we're going to be left with 2 over x plus 2 squared. So now that we have our derivative, we just need to set that to 0. And so as you can see right here, if our x is a negative 2, we're going to have a critical value because the denominator would be 0. And even though that makes our function undefined, we still keep that as a critical value. So once you have the critical value, you need to compare that to the interval that we were given to make sure that it falls within it, so we know whether or not to include that in our table. And as you can see, negative 2 is not within that interval, so we can reject it. Say bad. So now we just plug our endpoints of our interval, which would be 0 and 4, into our table. Okay, so right here we have our interval, which gives us our endpoints to check. And right here we have our function that we're going to plug those points into. So we have our f of 0 is going to be equal to 0 over 0 plus 2, and 0 over anything is going to give us 0. So there's where we get that. And then when we do our 4, we're going to have 4 over 4 plus 2, which is going to be equal to 4 over 6, which is the same thing as 4/3. I'm sorry, my bad. That is going to be 2/3. You need to pay attention to what I'm doing. And so you can see 0 is our smallest number, so that's our min, and 2/3 is our largest, so that's going to be our max. So whenever x is 0, we have a min, which is 0, and whenever x is 4, we have a max, which is 2/3, and that is over the interval right up here from 0 to 4.